Most people believe the heart only struggles when they're awake, during stress, exercise, or emotional moments. But what if I told you your heart may actually be at its most vulnerable while you're peacefully asleep? Some of the deadliest heart attacks and strokes happen in complete silence, without warning, turning an ordinary night into a tragedy by morning. The frightening part is that many of these tragedies don't begin with one major mistake. They often start with small nighttime habits that millions of people repeat every single evening without thinking. Tiny decisions, made night after night, can quietly place extra strain on an aging heart until one day the damage becomes impossible to ignore. Several years ago, I met a retired school principal named Robert. He was 71 years old, walked every morning, never smoked, and never missed his yearly medical checkups. To everyone around him, Robert looked like one of the healthiest people they knew. The evening before his heart attack seemed completely ordinary. After visiting friends, he enjoyed a large dinner and drank a few glasses of iced tea. Later, he skipped one of his medications because he couldn't remember whether he'd already taken it. Robert stayed up watching television until midnight. He never complained of pain or discomfort and never asked for help. The next morning, his wife found him unresponsive. Everyone kept asking the same heartbreaking question: what happened? The answer was far simpler and far more tragic than anyone expected. Nothing dramatic happened that night. Instead, a series of small choices quietly placed extra pressure on a heart that had already worked faithfully for more than 7 decades. That's often how heart disease progresses, not through one huge event, but through many small habits repeated over time. I'm Dr. Kevin Owell. For more than 20 years, I've cared for patients recovering from heart surgery and serious cardiovascular disease. Again and again, I've noticed the same pattern. The biggest dangers aren't always dramatic. They're often hidden inside everyday routines people never think to question. Tonight, we're going to explore 5 nighttime habits that deserve much more attention than they usually receive. The goal isn't to create fear. It's to help you understand how simple evening choices can either protect your heart or quietly increase your risk over time. Your body doesn't shut down while you sleep. In fact, some of its most important maintenance work happens overnight. Blood pressure should gradually fall, the heart should beat with less effort, blood vessels should relax, and hormones begin repairing tissues damaged during the day. But aging changes this natural balance. After the age of 60, arteries become less flexible, blood pressure becomes harder to regulate, inflammation becomes more common, and the heart has much less room for error. Small nighttime stresses that once seemed harmless can now have a much greater impact. The good news is that understanding these changes gives you the power to reduce many of these risks. Let's begin with the first habit: ignoring poor sleep quality. Many people only count how many hours they sleep, but very few pay attention to how well they actually sleep. Broken or restless sleep repeatedly activates stress hormones throughout the night. Instead of getting true rest, your heart experiences one mini stress event after another. Research has consistently linked poor sleep quality with higher blood pressure and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Imagine waking up 6 or 7 times during the night without even remembering it the next morning. Your brain notices every interruption, and so does your heart. Creating a regular bedtime, reducing bright lights, and allowing your body to enter deep sleep naturally can make a meaningful difference. The second habit is eating too much salt at dinner. A salty evening meal causes the body to retain extra fluid overnight, forcing the heart to work harder while you sleep. For many older adults, this can also contribute to higher nighttime blood pressure. Frozen dinners, restaurant takeout, processed meats, and packaged soups often contain far more sodium than people realize. Choosing fresh vegetables, lean protein, and home-cooked meals gives you far greater control over the amount of salt your heart has to deal with overnight. The third habit is going to bed emotionally stressed. Arguments, financial worries, bad news, or endless scrolling on social media don't simply disappear when you close your eyes. Your body treats emotional stress almost the same way it treats physical danger. Stress hormones increase your heart rate, raise blood pressure, and tighten blood vessels. One patient told me he spent every night replaying difficult conversations in his mind. His smartwatch repeatedly showed elevated heart rates until he created a calming bedtime routine that improved both his sleep and blood pressure. The fourth habit is forgetting to monitor blood pressure trends. Many people check their blood pressure once every few weeks and assume everything is fine. But blood pressure naturally changes throughout the day, and some people experience dangerous nighttime elevations they never notice. Keeping a simple blood pressure diary over several weeks gives your doctor valuable information. Patterns matter much more than a single reading. Instead of guessing, start tracking. Understanding long-term trends often helps prevent unpleasant surprises before they become emergencies. The fifth habit may be the most dangerous of all, assuming that feeling fine means everything is fine. Heart disease usually develops quietly. Plaque builds slowly, arteries gradually narrow, and the body adapts so well that symptoms may not appear until a serious event suddenly occurs. I'd like to ask you something. Which of these habits sounds most familiar to you? Poor sleep, late salty dinners, emotional stress, missing blood pressure checks, or simply assuming everything is okay because you feel fine? Leave your answer in the comments. You may help someone else recognize their own risk. If you're over 60, consider discussing a few important questions with your healthcare provider. Is your blood pressure controlled throughout the day and night? Should you be screened for sleep disorders? Are your medications still appropriate? Should you reduce sodium? These short conversations can influence years of future health. Here's the encouraging news. Heart disease isn't controlled by one single decision. It's shaped by thousands of small decisions made over time. Better sleep, healthier dinners, less evening stress, regular checkups, and taking medications consistently all add another layer of protection for your heart. One of my patients, Linda, decided to make just one improvement every month. First, she improved her bedtime routine. Next, she reduced sodium. Then she started checking her blood pressure regularly. Within a year, she had lost weight, slept better, and her doctor was pleased with her heart health. Your heart remembers every quiet choice, even the ones you forget by morning. Tonight, we covered 5 powerful habits. Improve sleep quality, reduce salty evening meals, manage stress before bed, monitor blood pressure trends, and never assume feeling well means your heart is problem-free. If you found this helpful, share it with someone over 60, subscribe for more heart health education, and always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your medications, diet, or lifestyle.